Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing how Tottenham Hotspur can get out of this crisis this season in the Premier League. But before that, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way with me build a small community on my channel. Okay, we've recently just hit 297 subscribers. We're only 3 away from getting my main target, 300. Can we go and do it? Hopefully we can. But yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you for the recent support on our most recent episodes, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. Definitely is going to notice. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you, really. But let's get straight into the episode, shall we? Now, when we discuss how we can get Tottenham Hotspur out of this crisis, the simple answer is I'm not sure. I don't have a clue. I thought the answer was, okay, sacking Thomas Frank. Then again, even though I didn't fully agree with it, I just thought they could do with the managerial bounce, sort of come in, somebody else to come in and sort of, uplift those Tottenham Hotspur fans, give them some confidence, give them some belief going forward for the remainder of the season, okay? But now that you've brought in Igor Tudor, okay, for me, that just hasn't happened, hasn't it? It's just been the complete opposite. I don't think he's actually won a game yet. I think Tottenham Hotspur have not even won a game in the last 11 games. I'm pretty sure. I think that is the record, if that's true or not. And when we discuss Igor Tudor, he does have a good record in the Serie A with Juventus and Udinese, and with other European teams, in outside of the top 5 leagues, if you like. So he does have a good record of, keeping teams in the Serie A, for example, doing good stuff with Juventus as well, when they had a tricky position and whatnot. So you thought he was a good enough manager to, get you out of the relegation battle. But what I've been seeing since he's sort of come in at the moment, I just don't have a clue what I've been watching. Okay, he sort of had a philosophy of playing three at the back, but that sort of didn't work out because, he didn't have his main three centre-backs fit. He had a few red cards here and there as well. Christian Romero got sent off, so from that point of view, what can you do? It's not really his fault, I suppose. But then you've got the likes of Paulinho, Archie Gray playing at centre-back. You've got Pedro Porro sort of playing in there as well. It's just a whole weird situation. And then even in this game against Crystal Palace, you've got your main best centre-back, Mickey van der Ven, got sent off as well. What on earth are we seeing? The discipline from these top Hotspur players is just non-existent at the moment. When you need your players to step up, why are your two best centre backs getting red cards? Now they're both out for 3 games. Okay, Christian Romero, I think he's either back next week or the week after, and for Mickey van der Ven, okay, he's gonna miss the next 3 out of the 9 games, okay, or 3 out of the 8 games, sorry. So from that point of view, what on earth, okay, what on earth is that? Don't get me wrong, there was controversy around the decision. Should he got sent off? Should he have not? Maybe, I don't know. You can make your own choices around that. It probably was a little bit harsh, but at the same time, I don't have a good feeling about Tottenham Hotspur this season at all. They went into the game against Crystal Palace, okay. Completely changed up their formation. At the start of the game, right, when you looked at the team lineup, maybe you was thinking Igor Tudor was setting up with back three again. However, when the game started, once the ball went over the white line, if you like, he started with a 4-4-2 formation, playing Conor Gallagher out of position on that right-hand side, right midfield. Now, for me, the Tottenham defenders are pretty much self-sabotaging themselves, if you like. In both centre-backs getting 2 red cards in recent fixtures, in the game against Crystal Palace. What on earth is going on? Yes, you could say it was a little bit controversial. Maybe Mickey van der Ven's red card, it probably shouldn't have been a red card. I'm not too sure. Maybe it could have been just a first yellow. However, Ismail Sarr was through on goal. He could have easily had a goal scoring opportunity, and he was dragging him down, wasn't he? So there's definitely arguments to be made that the red card was the right choice, and all in all, it probably was. But why would you do that? Because now, Mickey van der Ven, you already know that you've got so many injury problems at the back with the likes of Romero not being there, Danso not being there, your other centre backs not being up to scratch as well. You're the best centre back on the team, and they definitely need you to shine in those last defining moments of your season, okay? Because this is a defining moment in Tottenham history, okay? If they potentially get relegated from the Premier League and move into the Championship, that would be a disaster for their overall status as a club in that case, because a club of that size of Tottenham Hotspur can't get relegated. No chance in the world they can get relegated. And now I'm actually starting to believe they actually can. I don't want to say that, but I do believe it because, you know, even though I didn't want them seeing, even though I didn't want them to sack Thomas Frank, I thought it was the right decision because I thought they could have had a managerial bounce, but that just hasn't happened. And now they're sort of relying on other teams being worse than they actually are. They're relying on other teams being worse than they actually are. Okay, in the likes of Nottingham Forest and West Ham. However, okay, let me tell you this: Tottenham Hotspur are on 16th on 29 points, but Nottingham Forest and West Ham are on 28 points. Okay, they're only 1 point behind Tottenham Hotspur. If both of those teams win, and it's a big if, by the way, but if they do win next weekend, because now we've got a weekend off, I'm pretty sure, haven't we? So if they win next weekend, they can overtake Tottenham Hotspur, and Tottenham Hotspur can be in the relegation zone for the first time this season. And that is an absolute disaster class. That is definitely a reality, isn't it? Like if those two teams win, Tottenham Hotspur will be in the relegation zones, and it's just crazy to think that because of the size of the club. Since I've been a child, right, Tottenham Hotspur have been growing, and they've been an absolute powerhouse of a team, haven't they? For the last 10, 15 years, even. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, they haven't really won any trophies except from the Europa League last season. A massive, massive achievement, of course. But they've always been aiming for higher things, haven't they? They've been aiming to, get into the Champions League, challenge for the Champions League, challenge for the Premier League titles as well. Especially when they had Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Dele Alli, all these amazing players. That's what they was, challenging for. But now they're just like a shadow of their former selves. And don't get me wrong, they've had a lot of injuries. But you just can't put this down. You can't put this form all down to injuries, can you? Yes, their defence and goalkeeper isn't good enough, and they don't have a good enough defensive reinforcements to come in when those main two centre backs have unfortunately got red cards, and they are playing midfielders at a centre back. Paulinho, Archie Gray. You know, it's really annoying because for me, I do like their midfield. I do like their attackers. Individually, they do have some decent players on their team, but as a collective, as a starting 11, it just doesn't work. It's completely off, doesn't it? And I honestly, truly do believe now they can get relegated, and I don't want to see that happen just because, you know, of the size of the club and what it could potentially mean for the championship next season. Because, could you imagine that stadium playing in a championship, going away to Rotherham, going away to Cardiff City, going away to Wrexham, maybe Hull City, all these fantastic clubs? I just never would have thought that would have happened in a million years. Honestly, I never would have thought at the start of the season that Tottenham Hotspur would be in a relegation battle and potentially get relegated. But when we think about what can be done, I'm still not sure what actually can be done from this point of view. Because at the moment, the defence is not good enough to stay in the league. The goalkeeper Vicario makes mistake after mistake after mistake. I don't actually know what he's good at. In this game against Crystal Palace, okay, Ismail Sarr absolutely dominated and scored 2 goals. Okay, Strand Larson was fantastic as well. That second goal for the second goal in the game, the first for Strand Larson. Okay, it was too easy, didn't it? Go like through Vicario's legs. I'm pretty sure it was literally a toe poke from Strand Larson going straight past Vicario's legs, and it's so disappointing to see. And another player in that game was Adam Wharton. Okay, he was some of the assists he made for those 2 goals. He was just passing it about. He was playing with the Tottenham midfielders and defenders with absolute ease. They couldn't handle Adam Wharton on that day, and it was something I've not really seen from Adam Wharton before. Those through ball passes, getting into the opposition area, okay, and making those through ball passes onto your attackers to go and score the goals. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe let me know in the comments down below. Crystal Palace fans, what do you think? About Adam Wharton. Is that what his game is built around? I haven't really seen it that much before. I thought he was more of a defensive midfielder to break up the play and pass and pass those and keep the ball ticking, if you like, passing it around the midfield, passing it to the forwards, but not in that sense. Okay, not like a Yuri Tillemans would do for Aston Villa, for example. But you know what I mean. This game, it truly was so bad for Tottenham Hotspur, and I could definitely see them getting relegated now. I could. Maybe let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree or disagree, Tottenham Hotspur fans? How would you feel about this game against Crystal Palace? Is this the final nail in the coffin for your Tottenham Hotspur fans? when you thought this season couldn't go from bad to worse, it got worse, didn't it? Okay, losing the North London derby, then losing to Fulham, then losing to Crystal Palace. They've lost so many games this season, haven't they? Games you would expect Tottenham Hotspur to win. Games, you know, teams in the second, team in the bottom half of the table. Last season, the season before that even, 2 seasons ago, Tottenham Hotspur was guaranteed to win that. But now it's completely flipped on its head, and it's really unfortunate to see because individually, I think there are some good players in there. Mickey van der Ven, Romero, Conor Gallagher on his day is good. Paulinho I like, Archie Gray I do like. He's got a few assists in recent weeks. Got an assist for Dominic Solanke's goal. Dominic Solanke, we've seen he's a good Premier League striker, but he just doesn't have that enough. He doesn't have that enough quality around him, and maybe you could say it's the injuries problems. If we had all the players fit, back and healthy on the pitch, maybe it'd be all right. But we just won't know that, will we? And we can't blame the injuries, can we? Because that's an easy cop out. It's an easy excuse. But now I feel like Tottenham Hotspur, it's one road down to the Championship. I honestly do believe that. I do believe. I don't know how they're going to get out of this hole. Are they going to potentially sack Igor Tudor in the next couple of weeks if this continues to happen? Because you can't allow Nottingham Forest and West Ham to catch up and overtake you. Because if they do that, it's going to look even more bleak than it actually does look now, doesn't it? But yeah, before that, as always, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. It goes a long way having me build a small community on my channel. We've recently just hit 297 subscribers. We're only 3 away from getting my main target, 300. Can we go and do it? Hopefully we can. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you. And I really do hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.